you guys check that out. Without further ado, here's my boy, Big C, Zander Krause.
Yo, Big Sales. What a day in the NFL. Holy shit.
A lot of money being thrown around. Hey, you know what I think I'm watching? It's like Elon Musk and Doge.
Hey, listen, a lot of moves being made, but, listen, this is not the time to overreact. We knew this was coming. You can't pay everybody in the NFL. That's how it works. You can't pay everybody. One of the reasons we were a great football team this year is because we recouped with the right talent, the young talent, the cheap talent that you need to build out your roster. So don't overreact. Talent acquisition season is not over. This is, Sills, you used to say it all the time. When you see a team super active in free agency, that does not mean that they're going to be a great football team because they had the most headlines on March 10th. So don't overreact. We're all good. It hurts a little bit. I get it. We just won a Super Bowl, so people are like, oh, I didn't want to see Milton leave. I didn't want to see Sweat leave. I didn't want to see Isaiah, Slay, all these guys. I get it, but you can't pay everybody. You can't pay everybody, and everybody's being paid on offense. So I kind of anticipated that this was going to come, but boy, some of these deals are crazy.
Hey, you know how with what you said is just so accurate? When people are goo-gooing and gogging over Sam Darnold and Geno Smith,
right,
I know I'm in the wrong place because that's right there. Two franchises that are going nowhere but the money. I told everyone this here, Xander, I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago. How he's not fighting the Arizona Cardinals or the New England Patriots. He's fighting the market prices. Like you said, I heard you earlier talking about some of the online deals. This is why it's making it more difficult for Mekhi Becton to come back. There's no way he doesn't want to be an Eagle. Yeah. But you know what his agent's telling him? Hey, the Eagles are offering you 3 years, probably in the room of $32 million. Okay, somewhere there. You know what teams are offering him on the market? 3 years, 45 or more. How do you turn that down? That's what he's facing with multiple teams wanting him.
No doubt. And in the same breath of Mekhi Becton, where there's a price you're willing to pay and there's also a price you're not. I mean, let me just be blunt. I want to thank, and I do like the two guys that left today. All the guys, all four of them, Slay, Rodgers, and Milton and Sweat. But, I mean, let me be candid about this. Milton Williams, thank you for what you did. Great third-round pick here. Big part of our Super Bowl winning team. Awesome player. Seems to come from an awesome family. Great story. Love it. Josh Sweat, great years here. You contributed a lot off the edge, a lot of production. Appreciate what you did here. I wouldn't pay what those guys got, either of those contracts. I know you like Milton Williams. I understand what you were saying.
You would if you didn't have to pay Carter.
Well, you're going to have to pay Carter. That's the thing.
I'm saying you would pay them if you didn't have to pay that $45 million that's coming up next year.
Well, no doubt, but they also it's not even a money thing. I mean, it's also a play thing where Jalen is so good that in order to build a team, you have to be able to have some spots that don't cost that money. We can't pay top of the market money on a defensive tackle that's next to Jalen Carter. It just doesn't. That's from a team building standpoint. It just doesn't make sense. So it was never going to happen. I'm not saying he's not a great player. He's an awesome player. I do think he's going to fall into the land of nothingness now. I mean, when you go to these other teams, but anyway, I digress on that. I'm not sweating any of it, honestly. I know it stinks, and I know people, there's a lot of emotion with it when it first happens. But look, this is business. You got to recoup. One of the reasons we won the Super Bowl last year is because how we recouped successfully. We still have the draft. Remember, think about it. Cooper DeJean, massive part of the Super Bowl team. He came in the draft. Quinyon Mitchell, massive part of the Super Bowl team. Jalix Hunt gave you pressure on the edge. Mekhi Becton was picked up after the draft on a futures contract. Nobody wanted him. All through free agency, all through the draft season, Mekhi Becton was still in the open market. That's when we signed him. So relax. We got to recoup. Yes, we lost some players. Yes, but I feel like our core is intact. Our core players that really made us dominant are still here. I'm not sweating any of this at all. The one thing I will say, the glaring need for me is obviously the edge rusher and that cornerback. I know a lot of fans are high on Keely Ringo. I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not. Now, maybe he proves me wrong. I'm just not high on the guy right now. So that's the one thing for me. But other than that, I'm not really tripping on any of the deals today. Other than that, congratulations to everybody that got some life-changing money today, Big Sil.
I'm telling you, man. Here's my issues with the defense, but it's not repairable. Ringo, like you said, at the corner, and depth back there at that position. You don't have the swing Isaiah Rodgers now. You could finding that's going to be maybe Keely turns into that swing corner for you, and that's more of a role I see for him. I do not believe Jalix Hunt's ready yet. Now, with Vic working with him, can he be by midseason? That's still a question mark. We'll find out. The Dean health issue worries me. And once again, too, Nolan Smith's health worries me. The production of Jordan. By the way, I get that people are saying, well, Milton Williams benefited from playing next to Jalen Carter. That's not necessarily true. He played on the same D line. The guy who benefited from playing next to Milton Williams was Jordan Davis because he played better than he did at any time since he's been an Eagle. I hate when people dismiss a player when they say, well, he's a benefactor of this. Well, there's a reason 15 teams were after his ass. And even Vic made a play for him last year when he was the –
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not great, but –
how about – wait a minute now. I'm not saying either this too, though, Zander. I want you to – so I'm kind of with you on it in a way here. Hey, am I dropping $26 million knowing full well I got a $42 to $45 million nut that I'm going to have to prepare for next year after what I've been witnessing? Absolutely not. I'm going to go in the draft, get me the kid from Oregon, get me the kid from Michigan, get me the kid from Ole Miss. If they happen to fall down there, I'm in. I'll draft one of those guys, one of those edge guys. If Pierce happens to fall down there or whomever, the A&M kid, sure, I'm good with that. I can recover. I've got great teachers in Clint Hurt and also with Vic. I'm totally good with this, and I think they're going to repair a lot of this in the draft, and I do think they'll probably make a trade for a corner, and Vic will work it. You're trying to tell me you don't think Vic knows where the zone corners are in the NFL? I know he knows where they are.
Yeah.
So here on March 10th, the Eagles not doing anything tells you how good they are.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a fair point. I mean, look, it doesn't two things can be true, though. It tells you how good they are, but if they don't make the right moves to recoup, you're not going to go back and repeat it for a Super Bowl champions. Just because you were a great team last year doesn't mean you come into it and you're going to be a great team this year. So there's still work that needs to be done. But, the point you made about Milton Williams, and I genuinely want to ask you from a football standpoint because you played defensive tackle at the highest level and were damn good at it. You're not wrong that Milton wasn't next to Jalen Carter, but I view, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I view that as when Jalen Carter is lined up on one side of that defensive line, typically the offensive line will shift protections toward his side. Now, I know Milton's not right next to him, but Milton Williams didn't see any double teams because every time a double team happened, they had to push it over to the side toward Jalen Carter. And that's where I think Milton Williams benefited because he was one-on-one all day long, all year long, and he thrived in that environment where he's now in New England. He might not be in one-on-one all day long. Like, I've never seen that guy go up against the double team. I know Jalen Carter can handle it. I don't know about Milton Williams.
Okay, I see I'm awake. Are you? It says exactly. Really? Okay, well, then where the fuck was Jordan Davis helping out Jalen Carter next to him in double teams? Where was his play and impact? I mean, if Milton's on the other side of Jordan Davis, how come the guy sitting right next to Carter couldn't absorb the guard center double teams, and this guy had to take on almost triple teams from the tackle blocking down, the guard and the center back blocking on him, and he was beating those triple teams. What about the guy next to him? I mean, the guy's 350 pounds. Where was he if the guy on the opposite side of the line? And you're right on slide protection. That's not false. You're right. They'll slide.
Right.
You know what they slide to?
No, I know what you're saying. You're not wrong. Like, here's where I think you're 100% right. People are acting like Milton Williams didn't do anything. He was very good. I think that's what your point is.
Yeah.
Where people are like, oh, you have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Milton Williams didn't do shit. No, he was a great football player. He certainly benefited. He also helped other people benefit as well. But Sills, I do think this just comes down to business. Like,
it
you're
is.
not gonna pay it. I mean, look, I like.
It's not personal.
Bro,
it's
26 million though. 26 million?
Not me.
Dude, I thought that's what, a couple of years ago, I thought that's what Jalen Carter would be paid when he got top of the market money. He's going to get 35, 40 million now.
35, 40.
I'm happy for him, but
I think you're low,
I'm
dude.
good with the moving on.
35, 40, I think you're low.
Yeah, I was talking to Flexen and Steppins in the chat. We were chatting about Milton Williams like about a week ago or a couple of days ago, and I'm like, dude, I think he's getting 25 million, and I said maybe a little less than that because I'm like, nah, he probably won't get 25. He got 26.
No,
what? Dude, have you seen what the Patriots are going off, and I don't even know if they made all the right moves. I really don't. The Patriots went crazy. Listen to this.
Patriots are going off because they suck.
Dude, I know. You're so right about that. But look, Milton Williams, 4 years, $104 million. Cornerback Carlton Davis, 3 years, $60 million. Outside linebacker Harold Landry, 3 years, $43 million. Linebacker Robert Spillane, 3 years, $33 million. Offensive lineman Morgan Moses, 3 years, $24 million. He's like 35 years old, that guy. And tight end Austin Hooper, 1 year, $5 million. The Patriots are out here spending.
Can I tell you what I see with that? You want me to tell you what I see with that? 5 and 12.
What's that?
I see 5 and 12.
Boy, if they're 5 and 12, that'd be brutal.
Well,
that would be brutal. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I kind of like Drake May.
Okay. Who's blocking for him? Who are you throwing the ball to?
That's fair. That's why I like what the Bears have done. We'll see if the offensive lineman panned out.
They got the kid from KC. Yeah. They traded. Yeah. No, I get it.
What the Bears is they did it backwards, right? They got all the skill position guys last year, and then they went and got the offensive lineman this year. But now a couple teams made a lot of moves. Made some good moves. But
I like the Rams. What the Rams did.
I liked what, and I'll tell you what. Here's a sleeper. Nobody's talking about this player that the Rams got. All right. Everybody's interested in Devontae Adams. I get it. All right. Let me tell you the deal that jumps out at me for the Rams. They signed Poona Ford on a 3-year, $30 million deal. Poona Ford is a certified run blocker or run stuffer. So that defense has been great at getting after the passer. They couldn't stop a nosebleed in the run game. So they're now adding guys that they still have their pass rushers in place. Now they're adding guys that can stop the run on defense. They're making a move, and I hate to say this, but the Rams are building to stop the Philadelphia Eagles. You can tell. They went and got another receiver. They felt like they needed another wideout that was better than Cooper Kupp. Now they're adding Poona Ford to stop who? Who are they trying to stop? Saquon fucking Barkley. That's what they're trying to stop. And they're a pretty good player. Look.
And they got the Rams. Rams and Eagles play each other this year.
Yes, they do. And look, that was a great playoff game last year. I think the Rams are going to be a real contender in the league this year, and they're doing it a good way. They got a good coach. They got the right quarterback. Let's be real, Matthew Stafford, when he's on his game, is as good as anybody in the league. So I like that signing for them, though. But I do agree they're one team that I think made some good moves.
I can promise you this, and this is a prediction now. Okay, if they don't find a dance partner with Dallas Goedert, they're going to cut his ass.
They shouldn't. That'd be stupid.
I guarantee you. Dude, you're shopping them.
I know, but hear me out. Right now, you're looking at, all right, you got to replace Milton. You got to replace Sweat. You got to replace Slay and Rodgers on the outside, and you're pretty good overall everywhere else, and Becton on the offensive line. If you now add tight end to that, and it's – let's be real. You need to add a defensive tackle, but you're not empty at the room. You do have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. You need to add an edge rusher. You still do have some guys. You need a guy. You need cornerbacks, but we did just draft 2 freaking stud corners last year in the draft. You tell me you get rid of Dallas Goedert and we got Grant.
Goddard's a luxury. Goddard's a luxury they're going to move on from.
I just think with the two, that would be.
You're going to go in the draft and do exactly what I said. In the second round, they're going to draft a tight end.
That's a lot of turnover, boy. I'd rather keep that tight end in place this year and move on.
If they lose Becton and they drop off, and they rid of Goddard in a trade or they cut him, there's two pieces in the O-line that they're going to have to address. Guard, which is, in my opinion, right guard, I think it's easily replaceable. Tight end, him, again, no one's ever said he sucks. It's not a suck issue. It's an availability issue. Okay, that's my issue with him, and I think that's the issue with them on building a game plan. Plus, Zander, do you not agree with the contract that they gave Saquon Barkley and the hiring of Kevin Patullo? Doesn't that tell you they are not going to be a pass-happy football team? They are going to be a ball-controlled, first and second down, run it down your throat football team. And why am I paying a tight end then at $15 million annually? That's a luxury.
I get it. My perspective is more on coming off this year where you are in a maintenance offseason mode, is how we called it. Obviously, we just let a couple of guys walk because we couldn't pay them. You're going to create another hole. And I feel like sometimes you go too far. You try and get rid of too many people too soon. Now you're going to mess with the continuity. Now you're not going to be able to return.
Price of winning.
Right. It is the price of winning. But right now you still have Goddard. Like, I don't think you need to move on from Goddard. Yeah, you probably have to give him a new contract, but I don't know. If you tell me the holes we have right now or what we have to make up in the draft and the rest of free agency and the rest of the offseason, I'll say, all right, I feel pretty good. Yeah. If you tell me now I need a tight end, now I need a guard, now I need a defensive end, now I need a tackle, now I need a corner, I'm like, what? We're not going to be able to get all that in 7 draft picks. So that's where I think you might go too far if we get rid of that tight end. I think Goddard coming back makes more sense, but I get it.
Here's look, I think you can address Milton to a point. You could probably address the Milton. Well, fuck, you drafted Milton in the 3rd. What makes you think I can't get another 3rd-round DT? Doesn't have to be the first pick. He wasn't.
Milton wasn't great until year 3 and 4.
Okay. Well, maybe it was opportunity then because you were a pretty loaded team in 22.
That's true. 22 is definitely true.
Remember something about the Eagles. What you guys don't get, not you, brother. What you guys don't get is sometimes just because you don't start in Philly, that's not an indictment on how good you are. Most of the people that play in the second team in Philly would start on 65% of the fucking teams across the league. So if you're Tyler Steen and you're sitting there at right guard and you don't play, well, hey, welcome to the best O-line in football. Okay? You don't tell me you don't think Tyler Steen would start on 60% of the league today if he was out there? I think he would. Shit, you could probably take Trevor Keegan and he'd probably start on 20% of the teams in the league. You're good. Act like it. I mean, you don't have a lot of holes every year, which means this. You don't have a lot of turnover every year because of one thing. You got great players at every position. It's hard to get.
Yeah.
It's hard to crack the starting lineup in Philly. I mean, everyone's like, well, let's just fucking, we got enough. I'm like, bro, you can't pay everyone, one, and the league is rigged. When there's a reason only 9 teams in NFL history since the Super Bowl. You know what that is? That have repeated as Super Bowl champions.
It's hard to do, man. It's hard to do. You're seeing why it's hard to do. This is why it's hard to do. I mean, let's be real. Milton Williams isn't getting that contract without that Super Bowl run. I mean, Josh Sweat's not getting that size contract without the Super Bowl run. So, yeah, look, this is the cost of doing business. This is the cost of being great. You know, this is something that we're not used to because let's be real. We've only won 1 Super Bowl in our career, now 2. So this is what business looks like when you're a Super Bowl champion team. Look at what the Chiefs have done the last couple of you don't even hear the Chiefs name in the offseason normally. So we're gonna have different approaches now. We're not gonna be that big flashy team in free agency. And again, I tweeted it out already. I don't think that's a bad thing. Yes, it doesn't mean you don't have to recoup. You still have to do some things, make some good moves, but this is life as a champion, and it's all good. You got to keep drafting well, and you got to continue to build your roster.
Let me. Somebody asked me earlier what contract shocks you. So you're telling me that Minnesota and guarantees gave Isaiah Rodgers, $4 million a year in guarantees over 2 years. That the Eagles couldn't come up with that.
What was that?
Well, it's only 4 years guaranteed each year for those two, with 15 in guarantees. The only amount of money is guaranteed is 8. It's $8 million.
Are you talking about Rodgers?
Isaiah Rodgers.
This is what I was going to ask you. Why, unless the Eagles feel as though they're going to get a starting level cornerback, or maybe they trust Keely Ringo a lot more than I do.
Yeah,
maybe, but that's cheap money for a starting cornerback. Very cheap money for a starting cornerback.
Yeah.
So I know they thought it was going to be a little lower. Like John, even that's the one he was wrong on. He thought that the market was going to be less for him, $4 million, but I don't know. I mean, if he was projected to be a starter, again, maybe they have a better plan. They feel like they can get better at that position at a better price or whatever. But, the other thing is I was thinking for sure that the Eagles would not draft a secondary player this year because they drafted Quinyon and Cooper last year.
Now they will.
I'm thinking that it's possible in that second round. I mean, I know we need the tight end. This is why I want Ben back. How about that Benjamin Morrison kid from Notre Dame who had the injury and he's fallen down draft boards, but when he was playing, he was lights out, man. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there because remember, you're going to need to be cheap on defense. I was saying Sileo on my show earlier today where you think it's bad now. You think there's roster turnover now. Just wait. Just wait a couple of years. Right now, everybody on offense is paid, and it's all fine and dandy in Eagle Land. When Jalen Carter gets paid, when Nolan Smith gets paid, when Cooper and Quinn, you see J.C. Horn's contract?
Yeah.
Quinyon and Cooper are going to get paid. When those guys start getting paid, that's where you're going to see the Eagles.
Well, let's see how they play because I saw Sauce Gardner have the same hype that those guys had.
Yeah, that's true.
Albeit, though, Jets and Eagles, completely different buildings. Completely different buildings. I'm more to believe that those two guys are going to be very successful. Gardner has walked backwards the last 2 years, in my opinion. You think they bring Becton back?
I mean, based on the timeline and where we are right now, no. Because like you just said, you said it on this segment already. What you're competing with the market. The market, if Becton is not signed right now, which he's not, you got a team calling him saying, I'll give you $15 million. I'll give you $16 million. I'll give you $17 million. Meanwhile, the Eagles are like, dude, I'm topped out at $9 million. Like I can't go any higher. So he's probably gone. I mean, unfortunately, I wanted him to come back, but I think he's probably gone, honestly, at this
3
point.
years in a row,
it's not ruled out. He could return, but
wait a minute. 3 years in a row, you would replace the right guard?
Yeah.
I mean, you've done it. Cam Jurgens played a Pro Bowl alternate guard for you. You found a bust of a player to replace him.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get a lot of comp picks back. So, Sills, I mean, you just talked about replacing. I mean, they're going to get a third for Milton. It looks like a fourth for Sweat and a sixth for Rodgers. So they're going to have a lot of picks next year, man. They're going to have a lot of picks next year. But,
and don't forget the Reddick picks. Start from the
Jets. We got a third for him. We got a third for him next year.
Yep, you got a third for him too. So you're going to be loaded up on those threes. Hey, so let me throw this at you. I didn't bring this up yet because of the news that was breaking. So Josh Allen's going to make $60 million a year.
How about that deal?
You think the Eagles top that?
I think Jalen Hurts is at the negotiating table right now. Unless Jalen Hurts is taking a Brady approach where he's like, hey, Nicole, because listen, his agent is excellent. She's done really good work. She got another, I forget who else she got signed, a massive deal. Myles Garrett. She's doing a good job. She's the type that's like, hey, bro, he had 4 years left and just got a re-up. We can go and get this deal. I do think, again, I don't like to do this road because I don't like to tell another man how to take care of their family, how to get paid, how to do any of those things. I'm not one of those people that judges players for taking bags of money. I really don't care. It's up to them. It's up to the GMs to figure out how to make it all work. But unless Hurts is telling her, let's hold off and let Howie build the defense up, she's got to be calling, right? She's got to be. I mean, what would she not be calling for? Josh Allen just got re-up with 4 years left.
Let's see how much the Eagles love him.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
We're going to fight. Hey, me, you, everyone, Eagle fans, You're going to find out how much they love him. You're talking about a $10 million improvement on his deal, potentially 13 annually, that you're going to have to kick in for this dude. We are going to find out how much Philadelphia management loves your boy.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. But hey, look, if it doesn't come this offseason, I wouldn't say they don't love him because of that. But I mean, it would say that they're pushing off the deal a little bit.
This guy had half a decade left on his deal, and they gave him that.
Yeah, but Jalen did just sign 2 years ago. I mean, you know what I mean? Like Josh didn't sign 2 years ago. He signed a longer-term deal a little bit ago. So I don't know. It's tough. I think it wouldn't surprise me if Jalen got a new deal this summer because Howie likes to be proactive, and that's one of the reasons that we're not the Cowboys because we don't let other teams set the market. But, you know, I said to John this morning, if you got to reset the market every 2 years, then what the fuck is the point of setting it anyway? You know what I mean? Like if they're already going to redo Jalen's deal, I guess they could probably lower the cap hits again.
No way are they going to pay him more than $65 million a year. No fucking way. Then again, wait, let me back up. I never thought that a guy like Milton Williams would get 26 annually too. So I better just be quiet on that because, hey, these deals that are being thrown around. Do you know what I was doing today when you were like barking out those fucking contracts? I couldn't believe how mediocre players were getting enormous contracts.
Crazy.
And getting big deal. I mean, those old linemen, the kid from Atlanta, the center, Dahlman.
Big Commanders trade breaking right now. Laramie Tunsil, left tackle, traded to the Commanders.
Wow.
Texans sent Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders. So they are now trying to improve that offensive line to protect Jaden Daniels. I like that move. I think Tunsil's a pretty good player.
He's an all-pro. He's an all-pro tackle.
Yeah, he's good.
Hey, by the way, they're taking on a huge number. That guy makes some big numbers. He's a
and they sent him draft picks, so I don't know what they got him. They sent draft picks for him, so I'll give you guys the update once I get it. But that's a big deal right there. That's a big acquisition.
Wow, they get Jeremy Tunsil in the building.
Laramie, but yes,
Laramie to get the. Did he play at Ole Miss?
I think so. Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think
he's
he was
an Ole Miss kid, right? Was an Ole Miss guy.
Yeah, pretty sure you're right.
Yep. That guy is
Ole Miss. Well done. I thought you were right about that. Yeah. Wait, is Laramie Tunsil the guy that was the gas mask? I love that video. That's an all-time. I still to this day want to know.
It was his dad.
His dad?
His dad posted that. What? That was his dad.
That's fucked up.
Because don't you remember he plummeted in the draft over there.
I may or may not know what that gas mask was, everybody. I may or may not.
Hey, I thought it was the fucking funniest thing I ever saw. He takes it off and he goes, "Ooh yeah!"
Bad for him that he lost a bunch of money, but
he's made it up now. I can promise you this. By the way, James Jones, I'm sure over there near that stadium, RFK, they got that hoochie going over there, baby.
James, 55-23. You're going to need more than Tunsil to get up to speed, brother.
Look at Zander. You got more. Who do you got more of an ass with right now, the Cowboys or the Commanders?
It's got to be the Cowboys are in nothing land. They signed up a long snapper today, I think. I know. The Cowboys, I don't think are even relevant. So I think they're going to be better this year because they're getting Dak back, right? I mean, you got to be better. Cooper. Well, they had Cooper Rush. I mean, let's be real here. I hate the Cowboys, but Cooper Rush is no good quarterback. So they're going to be better this year. But
they're getting Dak back. Whoa.
Hey, look, Dak can throw. Dak can throw the ball. He's not a winner though. He's not a champion.
Here's you want to see two teams that show you how not to do business. It's the Cleveland Browns and it's the Dallas Cowboys. There shows you in a nutshell. Get this. Between Lerner and Haslam, the two owners of the Browns, since they've been back in Cleveland, 26 years, they've had only 3 playoff appearances. 3 playoff winning seasons. And get this, Zander, they have over 42 different quarterbacks play the position.
I might have
you sign an edge. You sign an edge who will have no impact on your football team whatsoever to a contract that's $40 million a year. Come on, bro.
I'll tell you what, though, I might have to eat a little bit of crow. On Friday, I kind of ripped into Jimmy Haslam as an owner. And I mean, hey, listen, maybe he knew what was best. Let Andrew Barry Harriet handle it, and he did that. And ultimately, the deal got done. But
He's playing quarterback for you.
I don't know. Deshaun Diddy, I guess.
No, hey, Deshaun ain't playing this year. He's collecting, get this, $46 million guaranteed.
Oh, my God. That contract was nuts, man.
$46 million they're doing here.
He's not playing because of that injury?
No, he hurt himself in rehab. He's out. Hey, after all this stuff now, and after what it looks like where you're going.
Wait, is that what happened? He re-hurt himself during rehab and now he's out in the season?
Yeah. Does it change your thoughts on 32? On what to do in the draft at 32?
I feel like it's got to be edge. It's got to be edge because if you don't get cheap production out of that position in the next, from this draft and you have it for the next 4 years, you're going to be fucked. Because once we pay Carter, once we pay the cornerbacks, this team is going to change a lot in the next 4 or 5 years. And we don't have to look at it from that long of a timeline. I'm just saying you got to maximize the edge position. You got to get production out of there. And if you don't do it cheaply, you're going to be looking at overpaying for guys like Bryce Hufflepuff. We don't want to do that. So I think it's got to be an edge in round one. And then probably, last week I had offensive linemen in round one, but around two, around offensive lineman in round two. Now, if Becton goes, maybe that's still plausible, but that tight end's looking like it's going to become more of a priority higher up the board. So to your credit and John's credit, that tight end might happen in round two. DT is a good option in round one as well. I think DT.
You're not wrong with your take on Goddard. Like, you don't like the no plan. Okay? There's no plan there. Just to move off of him, I mean, that's not a strategy. I mean, you had a strategy when you were moving off of Zach Ertz, right? You had a strategy when you were moving off of the other tight end that was on the team when Ertz was there. You've had a plan at that position for 20 years. Doesn't seem like you really got a plan here moving off of him. I'm feeling more you're going to cut him than you're going to trade him. Because you know why? No one's going to trade for a guy who makes $15 million a year who's hurt 25% of the time.
Yeah, but I don't know why you would move on from him. I really don't. I'm sorry. I mean, the guy led the team in receptions in the postseason. I mean, I know he's not as great or as awesome as some of the others, but I mean, look, I don't. Without a contingency in a Super Bowl window, you want to get worse there? And by the way, the other thing is you need a blocking tight end. He fits our team perfectly in terms of he can play multiple things as a tight end. I don't know.
You say that, and I go like this to you. That's fair. How do you move off of a 25-year-old defensive tackle that you drafted and you developed, and how you get? By the way, the ideal move is to move Carter, to move Davis, keep Milton, because he's the better player. You drafted him in the 3rd round too. You developed him for who? The Patriots? I mean, you're getting the player going into his prime in New England now.
Ready? Few syllables for you. 26 million. That's how you move off of him. You're not paying him that.
I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any D-line in the league that has two $20 million guys. I can't think of one.
Dude, I already saw a report, though, on Goddard that people who are interested in trading for Goddard already want him at a reduced number. Nobody wants to pay him $15 million. So what I would try and do with him is give him an extension, but lower the salary. Bro, I'm Josh Sweating you, all right? You're getting $10 million. You're $12 million. Take it or we're cutting you. And you can go and test the market with some shitty team that's going to pick you up, give you a prove-it deal, and you can enjoy the bottom dregs of the NFL. Or you can return for $10 million and try and win a Super Bowl again.
That's how you reward the guy who had the most receptions in the playoffs?
Now you're going to spin it on me. Hey, Ben, we got a Super Bowl team to build, and you ain't the only one who's a part of it, all right? Yes, that is how I'm rewarding you.
That's right. You're now going here. Don't fall in love with these guys. Fall in like with these guys. It's about the roster. It's not about the guy with the name on the back of the jersey. That's exactly what this is. All right, Xander, let's get these. Hey, by the way, you think on the 12th, you think there'll be Eagle movement there?
Not much.
I don't either.
You're not paying. All right, remember,
I don't see the Eagles. I don't see the Eagles being a free agent team unless it's one of their own.
Becton's the only one left.
Right.
I don't think you need to be like last year. We went big in free agency. What did it do? We got fucking Bryce Huff.
Well,
we got Bryce Huff and Saquon.
Let's see who else you signed in free agency. You got Zach Bond.
Yeah, but he came late. He was not a day one guy. Zach Bond was weeks after free agency.
That's why I said when I came on the air today, wake me up in September.
That's true.
I'll let you know the roster set then.
That's
when
true.
they officially the first week of the NFL and the roster set, Xander. If you're an Eagle guy, this is Dan Sileo fucking talking to you here. There's no skies falling here. Last 7 years, you've been to 3 bowl games and you've won 2 Super Bowls. Bro, on March 10th, I think the Eagles are having a fabulous offseason. They're not going to overpay. They're telling everybody in the league, yeah, we got a guy coming up here, man. That's the second most expensive guy and the most expensive guy in the NFL at his position. Have the Eagles ever had a guy outside of Jalen Hurts where he was the highest paid player at his respected position in the last 10 years? Probably Lane. Now you got Jalen for 2 minutes he was. Now you're going to have Carter for about 2 minutes. Just telling you, man. And by the way, get used to this. Next year, those numbers are going to look even bigger than what you're seeing right now because of Amazon, gambling, and the stuff going up. So do you know what you may be paying? Again, you may be approaching $46 million annually for Jalen Carter next year.
No, it's not going to get that high. If it gets...
It's 42 now.
I think it's 40 now.
Oh, sorry. Cap goes up 20% more next year. Okay, let's hypothetically say it's 44. This guy makes $6 million. He'll make $6 million less than Hurts.
Tunsil's very good. Laramie Tunsil led the NFL in penalties last year. There you go.
Oh, I like Xander. He always finds a way to take a shit on the Redskins.
Laramie Tunsil. I mean, he's a good player.
Hey, James, he's picking on you, ain't he? He thinks your team I think it's got a lot to do with the owner, too.
All right, well, listen. Laramie Tunsil's is going to be 31 at the start of the year. And I'm not saying that's a big deal. Lane Johnson's way older than that. You can play tackle, much older, but well, let me look up how Tunsil graded out last year. I'm not quite sold that that's as good of a move maybe as we think, all right? Led the league in penalties last year. You hate to see it. So he was 23rd out of 141 tackles. Jordan Mailata was number 1. Lane Johnson was number 5.
Hold on.
You can add our 2 tackles together, and your guy's still not in the room. It's an okay guy.
And by the way, he made the Pro Bowl this year for the 5th time.
I'm not saying he's not a good
player. And Mailata did it.
I'm just taking jabs at James Jones.
Hey, James, I know. Listen, James, he's a 5-time Pro Bowler, too. Mailata didn't make
and they did upgrade. It'd be a lie to say they didn't upgrade. They upgraded for sure.
I don't like the holding, though, too. I mean, he's known for that, too.
Led the NFL in penalties last year.
Not a good place to be. That's for damn. Let's do these supers. Howard Eskin's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, guys.
That Laramie Tunsil holding penalty versus the Eagles is going to hit like crack next year, baby. I can't wait. I can't wait to hold that against James Jones. I can't wait. All right, here we go. Super chat time. Anthony Wilson, Slay, you can't pay 2 DTs over $25 million. I agree.
I agree. I mean, hey, Anthony, once again, Milton Williams and Josh Sweat are a casualty of the greatness of Jalen Carter. Going to pay that guy next year. Case closed. What it is. Hey, by the way, you're paying for being good.
Yeah, this is the cost of being great. Ramir, Dallas can't stay healthy, plays 7 games a year. Oh, you're talking about, well, no, that's not true. He played 14 games this year. Ramir, if you're going to come in here and tell me a reason why to not keep a player, at least be fucking accurate, Ramir. Come on. He just led our team in receiving yards in the playoffs. I mean, come on, dude. It's a shitty comment. Yeah, he struggles to stay healthy. That's also what makes him a great player, though. He's physical. He blocks. He uses stiff arms. He does things that we like out of our tight end. You think Grant Calcaterra can do that?
All that's true. Then why are they shopping him?
Because they're cutting numbers, bro. They're cap crunching.
They're Elon Musking the Eagle roster right
They're
now.
doging. They're doging the offense.
They're doging the Eagles.
Yeah. Brian Pump. Zander, come on, man. You sound too scary for my liking. What do you mean scary? I just told you why we're all good. Have some damn confidence. The exciting white Howard Rosen. I thought you were going to say me for a second. I am an exciting white. Yeah. Sydney Family says, get Allen and draft an edge defensive tackle. Howie Sniper waits. Yeah, I like Allen, but he's meeting with a couple teams today.
Minnesota he met with today. Then I think he's on his way to Seattle or San Francisco. I don't know where San Francisco's getting the money. They don't have any money.
I actually like the fit of Isaiah Rodgers in Minnesota.
Yeah. I like him with Leslie Frazier there. Or no, excuse me.
And I like him with the
guy, the former coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores.
Yep. JD3. What's up, JD? This draft will be 3 out of 4 drafts. We will have to address defensive tackle because Davis can't stay on the field. 13th pick can't play 20 snaps. SMH. The brutal truth is that JD3 is correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Milton Williams has been a better player the last 3 years.
He has, but I really don't think Milton Williams is. I love Milton Williams. I'm not pocket counting. I'm very happy he got paid, but dude, he's paid like a top.
With the money that's being thrown around, I'm warming up to $8 million on an extension for him.
Yeah, well, $8 million is a third of that.
I know,
less than a third,
dude. I'm warming up to that.
Yeah. How about the Jets getting Justin Fields? They paid Justin Fields 2 years, $40 million, I think it was. I mean, $30 million guaranteed. Dude, what are we doing? What are they doing?
They should have drafted Jalen Milrose.
Who's the coach they just hired? And I liked him.
Oh, Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn. I liked him. I thought he had a great shot to be successful. Now you just hitched your wagon at Justin fucking Fields? What are we doing, Aaron Glenn?
He can't throw the ball, man.
He can't. I don't know what they're thinking. I guess he played with Garrett Wilson at Ohio State, and they thought that was a good enough reason to bring him in. Brian Pumper. These dudes in chat want us to give these geriatrics a contract. MFers close to collecting SSI checks. No more grandpa Eagles.
Hey, Brian, Khalil Mack just got 18 and he's 36.
What was that deal? The guy had 5.5 sacks, 6 sacks last year. They gave him $18 million guaranteed at 35 years old. I mean, shit, don't hate the player, hate the game.
No shit.
Carmine, what's up, Carmine? Four third-round picks in 2026. 2 comps for Sweat and Williams. 1 is their own, and 1 for Reddick. Plenty of young guys coming via the draft on defense. We do have a lot of picks.
Yep. It's 26 going to be loaded with picks.
Let me ask you this, Carmine. While I appreciate the comment and I appreciate the foresight, how does a 2026 draft pick help us field the championship football team in 2025? It doesn't unless you use them to trade and get players or something. So
that's right. But you can use those knowing that you have those for the upcoming draft, Zander, on future picks. If you want to make a trade to trade up, you trade like this year and next year's 26 to move up to the second round to get a tight end. That's how you're going to use those picks. Okay? I mean, if you suck, you know who the Eagles want to do business with? They want to do business with Cleveland in the draft, New England, the Giants. Hey, by the way, stop it with the Micah Parsons stuff. Jerry Jones is not trading ever Micah Parsons to a divisional opponent, especially that opponent, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Cowboys should trade Parsons. They need multiple picks to fix that football team. O-line, D-line, linebacker. They need it in the safety position, the overrated corners they have. They have a running back. They have so many places that they need holes. Parsons doesn't address that. I mean, you know how far away they are from the Cowboys? From the Eagles? The Cowboys are like 3 drafts away from being competitive with the Eagles. They're so far away.
The Cowboys are brutal. They really are. Brian Pumper, here we go. Let's effing go. Get all these old geezers and role players off my team. Yes, these dudes in the chat can eat dirt. Well, Pump, I love you, but you haven't been right about literally one take in 12 months. So, Pump, I mean, this morning, Brian Pumper was telling me to put my faith in Johnny Wilson. I think he's a 49ers troll, this guy. I mean, what?
Johnny Wilson. Holy, yeah. Here's the moves that they've made so far. Hey, James Jones, here's your moves. They re-signed Bobby Wagner. They re-signed Zach Ertz. They signed tight end John Bates. They got Deebo Samuel. They got Javon Kinlaw. And they just traded for Laramie Tunsil. Now, that's not terrible. They're adding, again, remember what I told you guys before. You know what I said? Zander, don't look at the Deebo move. Look at the collective group of moves that teams make. And then you go from there. One move's not going to change the fortunes. Like Devontae Adams is not going to change the fortunes of the Rams. You know what's going to change the fortunes of a Ram? A D tackle, a linebacker, a wide receiver like Adams. Collectively getting here's what happened last year with the Eagles. You got Vaughn, Becton, Barkley. All those 3 guys were instrumental in your team's success on the Super Bowl. That's what you're looking at when it talks about building a team. One move does not make success for a team. It's multiple moves.
Absolutely. It's the whole process of it, the whole roster building process.
That's why Howie says, like he said at the combines, it's not going to look the same, but hang in there.
Well, it doesn't. I think he said that also because I'm paying a running back and a linebacker again. That's not typically what we do. Over my edge rusher and my defensive tackle. That doesn't happen often in Philly. Q the guy. What's up, Q? We might have gotten this one already.
How about the Eagles today throwing out that smokescreen press conference with Saquon Barkley?
That was some bullshit. They love doing that shit, don't they?
Oh,
Ringo is 2 years. Is only 22. Did you get this one?
Well, yes, I did. Yes.
All right, and then we got a couple new ones. MJ, a member for 5 months. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Can't automatically draft edge at 32. Best player on their board whenever Howie drafts for specific need early. He reaches and goes south. Well, he'll probably shake and bake. I don't know if he'll pick at 32, but you're not wrong. Ramir says, how many times do we say Dallas can't stay healthy?
Every year.
Dallas can't do anything right. Steve says, hello, Dan.
Thank you.
It's like a horror movie. Hello, Dan. I don't know what the hell that means. All right, there we go. All right, we got all the super chats. Thanks, everybody.
Great stuff. We got our friend Howard Eskin coming up. I can't wait to hear him and how he sees all this.
Yeah, it's gonna be good to hear. It's gonna be good to be here.
It's been kind of a funny couple days here for Big Cells and I.
Yeah, it is.
Hey.
I really your text to deactivate your Twitter, but I held off.
Hey, let me say this to you here, Bubba. It's been great. Absolutely great stuff. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate it. Zander, I don't know if they're going to make any moves here, the Eagles, as we get closer to March 12th, too. I don't know what kind of moves we're going to be talking about here. All right. So I think they're going to be secondary B moves. Dude, get this. The Barkley, Bond, and Becton moves were considered B moves.
Yeah.
You know why I say Barkley was a B move? The initial offer was to Sweat.
Yeah. And it's a running back. Nobody wanted to pay him last year, so
hey,
we got plenty of time, and I feel like even with the losses, we're still in pretty good shape as a roster.
Yeah, especially with the draft coming up. All right, brother, we'll catch you tomorrow on Birds 365, or if anything else breaks. We appreciate you, man.
All right, brother, appreciate it, man. Thanks, everybody. Hit that like button for Big Sills. Thank you, guys.
You guys are great. Howard Eskin's going to join us here in a couple minutes. Don't forget our great friends at Morgan & Morgan. John Morgan has the #1 injury law firm in America. Folks, their track record speaks for itself with over $20 billion in recovery for their clients. This is what Morgan & Morgan does. I told you about the family in Pennsylvania that was initially offered $650K. How about this? They ended up going in and got $26 million for that family. In Florida, family was offered $350,000 in a settlement. Morgan & Morgan went in and got $12 million for that family. If you're ever injured, please check out my friends at Morgan & Morgan. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.